Yo guys, what is up? It is Teachers Game 2 coming at you again with another video, and I am here right now to show you how to build a sky tower. So if you've never heard of a sky tower or don't know what one is, they're really useful. Basically, it's a turret tower that goes up to the sky. I know that sounds really complicated. To prevent people from pulling some shenanigans on you, like dropping C4 tames, doing anything from way up above. Now, they really are meant for anti-troll techniques. They aren't the greatest defense, but they are really good to prevent people from trolling your base. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how to build these towers. They're super easy to build, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so in order to get started, what we're going to do is you take a 5x5 metal foundation base. Oh my goodness, look at the lag right there. Crazy. 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to expand this to 3, and then expand it again to 4. Now, the reason that we're doing this is because we want a little bit of symmetry here, something that's super easy to accomplish, fortunately, if you have a flat surface. If you don't have a flat surface, you might want to chickadee check yourself because that's something that you need to accomplish. Flat surfaces make sky towers a lot easier. You can do anything as long as it's an odd number, so like a 3x3, a 5x5, or a 7x7. It needs to be an odd number, though. There is a reason behind that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place our walls down, leaving space for a door. Now the reason we leave space for the door, so you can get into the sky tower. Otherwise there's no really point in having one. Now, very simple, I leave the door open for right now. Take your ceilings and you're going to make 9 like this. And you're going to kind of build the inside first, and then we're going to go build the outside. Now we're going to go and take our walls. Oops, not what I wanted. Pick this up. I'm going to go ahead and crouch so I can actually, there we go, that's what I'm looking for. And we're just going to build ourselves like the internal components right now. As you can see, there's this part. We'll build the ceiling on top, and we have ourselves our little starting box, you can call it. Now what we're going to do is the next easiest part. You are going to take a bunch of these guys right here, but you can't place, I guess the sloped metal roofs is what they're called, but you can't place them down until you have these down first, and these are your sloped metal walls. Now, sloped metal walls are really good because they serve just the same as a metal wall, and they give you a little bit of extra bonus protection. Now, the reason that we're making this pyramid-like shape is because you can get more turret coverage if you have less boxiness. You'll get about 270 degrees of turret coverage when you use a style like this, which is really important, obviously. There is no, every single base in this game is raidable. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, there's nothing you can do. Somebody will have the time, somebody will have the willpower to raid you. It's just a question of how long it takes. Now, this will just help you prolong that process, and that's the point of it. So as you can see, we've got these guys that can now snap on, just like that, and you are going to snap them on every other, just like this. Now, as you can see, you're starting to see this thing build up, and when it builds up a little bit, you are literally just creating yourself a tower, a turret tower, and it's a pyramid shape, and you're doing that for maximum coverage. You want these little inlets too, because you can vary the types of turrets that you use. Obviously, that's up to you with what you'd like to use. I usually just use heavy turrets and X-Plant, but it's entirely up to you. You can see the base right here, pretty sweet looking. Then we're going to go ahead and do the next layer up. So, same exact thing. And the point again is you want to make the base of this tower really strong, because someone could just run up and C4 it and then make the tower useless. But the more strong this base is, the harder it is to raid you. That's what it comes down to. Now, there is no perfect design, but this will help. And the more layers we have, the better off we are. So, as you can see here, we have finished the basic components. We have a pyramid on all sides. Now what you're going to do is actually optional. It's up to you. Take some of these right here, metal railings. And metal railings, you want to place them down on the bottom level, so that way people have to jump over them in order to get to your tower. And just like this. And we're going to put another layer of these on the outside as well. And a lot of people are like, well, you could just get cannon raided. You can cannon raid anything if you have enough time. So, basic layer right there. Doesn't really matter that that's not connected. You still can't jump over it from the outside, which is the point. So we've got our basic structure right now. What you're going to do next, place this guy right in the middle, 2, 3, 4. And once we have 4 up, you're going to place your first ceiling down on top of it, just like that. You're going to take another ceiling, and another one, and another one, and another one. You get the point. Now, the reason that you create this little like cross shape, if you want to call it that, is because with hatch frames, when you jump up, you can actually place them up on top. Now, you probably are going to need a air tame to do this. I use a Griffin because they are super easy to get that maximum distance coverage and kind of hover in the air pretty well. But that's up to you, obviously, what tame you use. I like the Griffins, so that's my choice. So you'll see the reason that we made this cross is this sticks just like that. Now, these giant metal hatch frames, this is how you're going to keep the design of your tower. Just like this, because these hatch frames allow turrets to shoot straight down and cover each other. So that's what you're going for, just like that. Now, another reason you're doing this is because this allows you to begin the build of your turret tower. Now, what we're going to do, just to show you, you can build this guy up as high as you want. Oh boy, not what I wanted, but oh well, you see the point. Now, you can go up really, really, really high with these things, and it's totally cool because the higher you go, the more coverage you have in the sky. However, you want to make sure that you have some turret coverage in the middle of this tower so people don't just take out the actual pillars themselves. That's something that can happen with this, but again, the point is not to beat any like major raids, because if you're having a major raid, these people are gonna, you got to be on to hit back. This is just to prevent basic trolling and things along those lines. See how we're kind of like building this giant tower in the sky? That's literally what this thing is. And we're gonna go ahead and push this guy here, push the next one down, push the next one down, and you see again we're making that cross shape. Oops, messed up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and land on this thing. Fix this. Now you can just land on this and place it just like so. And again, we'll take our hatch frames and place them down. Go back to the inventory. I've got some more ready to go. And as you can see here, we're just going to keep building straight up just like this. And this is a sky tower. This is a really effective one that I use just like that. And you want to keep some coverage just like you see here, because it's covering the next layer down and itself. And we'll build one more layer just to kind of show you what we're looking for, because we have one more set, basically, I think is a good way to put it. And we'll go up a little bit higher. Da, da, da. Oh my goodness, not what I wanted. The one thing that's a pain in the butt about this process is obviously just the constant placing of things. Like this. There we go. Should be able to keep pushing up a little bit here. And we'll go up a little bit higher. Just a touch more. There we go. And we've got ourselves a very decent sky tower. Now, another benefit is if you get up pretty high, those turrets up on top, it's the 35 tile range that you're trying to avoid, because those top turrets will not actually latch on. There we go. To the turret box range, so you can get up really high with these things and they will not affect how many turrets you can have on the ground level, which is really nice, obviously. Okay, we're going to go and do a big loop here so I can land on this thing and place this bottom level down one more time. As you can see, da, da, da. And then once we have this, the point of this again, you can put a bed up here. That's probably a good idea. And you have yourself a sniper tower as well. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos recently that some people are starting to release where you can put those tech lights up there and just have total invisibility up here. And that's always a good thing to have, obviously. So right there, you can see this is the design. We're going to go down to the base level and show you how to actually fill this turret tower and what to do, settings and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now, one more thing you could do, now this is entirely up to you, obviously. You can fill the outside, and I'll show you this at the end of the video, with more railings, just as an extra layer of protection. But before we get that far, let's go ahead and trade some things out here. I'm going to transfer all those into my inventory, please. Thank you. Transfer these guys out. Don't need that or any of those. It looks like I might be a little bit too encumbered with this stuff, so let's take a little bit wood off. There we go. So obviously, as you can see, There is no way to jump up and into this thing. Now I'm going to get on my gotcha for that purpose. Oh boy, not going to let me. Okay, whatever. And you can still see no way to access this. So it protects you against Arthropleura because they can't hop over those little railings, which is nice. And the only way in is to use a flyer. So we're going to go and hop on our Griffin. Get up to the edge of it. Now, obviously, there's always a way into it, so you want to be careful about that. And use your Griffin just to jump over that little fence. Now, this is the hardest part of this entire design, placing the generator right. Now, what you want to do is you kind of want to aim right about here, and you're going to test it. Thankfully, you can pick things up in Arc now. And what we're going to do, just like that. See how this is covered? This electrical wire is covered by the pillar. That's what we're going for. We want that thing covered because it will allow us to, oops, there we go, cover the electrical outlets like you see right there so they can't get hit. And that's the big thing. That really is what we're going for. Take a gasoline just so we can power this thing, as you can see. Now what I'll usually do, I'll go ahead and place a turret or two on the inside of this in case somebody does blow inside of this thing. They don't just get freebie hits off. I'll place one on each side of this generator, turn them on, and I will make sure that these things are on only survivors and tamed because sometimes they just get in, just like that. So we've got ourselves our little sky tower. That's how I would outfit that section. And on each of these walls, on I guess the corners, you want to place down a turret. And you'll see they shoot perfectly over the side, which is obviously what you're going for, something that you really want to accomplish. Now, this little protection scheme right here, super effective because they're protected against some heavy hits and they can shoot things at quite a distance. You probably want to change the range on all of these things to high. I'm just going around and placing them so you can see what it looks like. That way you can see how I make my designs. But sky towers are super effective for that reason. Place these last couple down, and I'll show you how to place the ones up above. And kind of how to track the entire thing. Just like this. And obviously the more turrets you have, the more defended you are. So make sure you have lots of turrets. Auto turrets are no longer useful just because people will flak raid the crap out of you, which just means they're going to fly at you with flak, and then they're just going to get into your base. Heavy turrets are really what you want to go for. Now we'll do a couple more on this bottom level, just like this. We'll scoot them back just a touch, like that. And look at all this coverage you get. Now what you'll notice, if you can see the turret, it can shoot you. So your LOS, your line of sight, is really, really large on this one, which is a good thing. We want maximum large line of sight for defensive purposes. And that is the last of it. So right there, you can see we've got turret coverage on all the corners. The only thing that really blocks them is this top thing right here, and you can place turrets up there if you'd like to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place down our vertical cables. You'll notice they'll snap inside automatically. So what you want to do is you just want to keep going up and put in some generator for electrical outlets in there too. It's pretty easy to figure out where they go, but you can land at the next level just to test. I'm going to go ahead and grab those next turrets, and I'll show you how to set up each of these levels, and then I'll let you go. So transfer some of these turrets to me, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and go up to this middle level. Now, if you do have ladders, yeah, it makes it easier for you to get up there, but guess what? It also makes it easier for everybody else to get up there, so be careful about that. You'll notice this thing snaps in there nice and easily, right there. Now, what you do, take your turrets, walk carefully to the corners. Now, if you place the things right, you'll notice the wire goes perfectly to the corners, which is what you're going for, because the more line of sight turrets you have, the better off you are. If you're shooting from above down onto a trike and things like that, you're going to miss the head of the trike, which is a really good thing, and you want to be able to do that. Now, if you're trying to access those turrets and there's a turret in the way, jump up and look to the side and jump down. Really an easy method to do this. I usually put one on each of the corners. You could load up a heck of a lot more. It's entirely up to you. Now again, what I'm going to encourage you to do, vary these with a 50-50 rate of one is on survivors only, the other one is on tamed creatures and survivors, because you want to be able to hit the bodies of things where they do not take reduced damage. So a stego does not take reduced damage in anything but the spikes, if that makes sense. So by varying up your turrets, you're actually doing full damage to Stegos. Even though they have a lot of health, they take a ton more damage if they're not being hit in the spikes. So basically that's what I would do if I was you. Just some little hints. Now, yes, you could get hit with cannons, and there are ways to protect that. You just want to spam off the area. Again, just to show you, jump on top of your turret, look to the side, land on this middle. Oh, I almost jumped off. Oopsies. And that's how you get over the turrets. And we're just going to keep doing this. As you can see, I placed the thing in the middle. So all of these turrets get cover, which is perfect. That's what we're going for. And I was blocking it a little bit there. And there we go. Now, as you can see, look at all that turret coverage we have. If you're feeling like you have the ability to put more turrets down, what you could do, and I do enjoy doing this, is I place one right in the middle right here. And it just adds to the more firepower, which is always a good thing. That's up to you, obviously. You don't have to do it, but you could. Boom, just like that. Now, this is how I would set up all the layers, and obviously you're going to need a griffin or something in order to place these. You'll see they auto snap in there, just like so. And you can kind of like hover to the side for these vertical cables, and you'll see them automatically snap in, which is what you're going for. And just like that. It's literally that easy. That is how you build a sky tower. Now, these things are super effective versus ground raids and air raids. They go up really high to cover maximum coverage in the air. You can go up to the roof of the map if you really wanted to. You don't have to, but you could. So that's how you can do this thing. Super effective, and I use these all the time to help protect my bases. And that's literally as easy as it is. On these flat spots, if you're feeling really gutsy, what you could do is you could put some Velonosaurs up. You can put some X-Plant up to kind of vary out what you have. You can put some Dragons or Velonosaurs up high as well. And you've just got a defensible tower. Now, you obviously want to try and put this somewhere where it's got maximum range. So try not to put it next to a rock or a wall or a tree where people can hide behind. So I would spam this area up with a bunch of foundations. And other than that, this is a really effective sky tower. So hopefully this video helps you out, and Teacher's Game 2 out.